Alright, welcome back everyone. So today I'm going to be looking at a game that Thoth the Raven, the current #1 player on BGA, sent me to review. So happy to take a look at this. Before we get started, I just want to show the record I have here. We've only played 3 times, but I have beaten him 2 out of the 3. So I'm going to use the transitive property and say, yeah, I should totally be on top of Board Game Arena if I wasn't so addicted to playing the Bazaar and Expedition 33 right now. So yeah, that's totally my excuse and not just copium. But joking about that, Thoth is one of the best players of the game, so I'm happy to look at this game that he sent me to see what he had and how I would play it and where we might go a little different on my views. Like Filter, I think Thoth is probably better than I am on a whole, and so I'm not going to be too judgmental on anything he plays because I imagine he just has good reasons for doing so in most of what he does. So, looking at this board here, we are on the Tharsis map. We have Ecoline. We have Tractor as well, but Tractor has no Earth tags, so I'm not really inclined to go Tractor. We have Experimental Forest, which definitely makes you want to go Ecoline. Aside from that, our hand isn't like fantastic. We have Mass Converter. That's something we would like to play towards. And we have the Robo Workforce, but we have none of our Preludes can be workforced. So I think you would keep it as a hedge, but you wouldn't do anything with it. You'd kind of like to get the Tech Stress power down, and then Robo the Tech Stress power, but we can't get the Tech Stress power down without playing the Robo, and Mass Converter, if we're playing Science Tags, you want to go for Mass Converter anyway. You're always taking Experimental Forest here. You could go Supplier. You could go Allied Banks. Supplier is a little more of a committal, I'd say. But Allied Banks is just mediocre but good. Like you can't go wrong having MC Prod, right? And Supplier is not really doing anything for us here. The steel isn't useful, and we already can have steel with mineral deposit. So I think I would go Allied Banks, but I see a world where Supplier is good, right? We have Supplier. We find like Commercial District, we can just play it. Or we find Cupola City, we could just play it. As you can find GHG Factory, we just play it. That's the reason why Supplier is enticing here. But I think I'm going to say I'll just SP the power if I have to. So yeah, I think I'd do Allied Banks and Experimental Forest. I think I'd take Ecoline. I'm honestly looking at this AAA here. It's not a card I love, but I think it has its place. And with Ecoline, that place is pretty good here. So if we take AAA, we can only keep 4 cards with Allied Banks. And we can do Experimental Force on Titanium to make 5 cards, but if our opponent places a tile there in the Prelude phase, then we'd have to go down here, and that could get a little dicey. But let's say we can do it. Take 5 cards. So I'd take Industrial Center, Convoy. Convoy might be too weak. Arrow Braked, Ammonia. I actually am thinking I would skip Mineral Deposit here because Mineral Deposit, while yeah, it's 5 steel here, it's really just plus 2 cash. Plus 2 cash is really nice, but it's not like skip good cards to keep it level. So Industrial Center, AAA, Robo, Bushes, and then do we call Mass Converter a bait? Yes or no? It's one of the best cards in the game, but I'm inclined to say I'm not certain that we're going to be playing it if we're playing a card like AAA on Gen 1. But, could also even argue Micro Mills, right? Just get the 4 power Gen 1. If we do that, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but then we can't afford AAA and Micro Mills. So I think you skip the Micro Mills in that case. But you could argue Supplier, but then we have to keep 1 less card. I'm going to say Industrial Center, AAA, Robo, Bushes. I'm skipping the rest. Allied Banks, Experimental Forest. Let's see how I match up with what he does. Okay, similar but a little different. He skips the Industrial Center, which I don't really agree with, because I think if anything, people on BGA, I forgot to move this over. People on BGA absolutely love cities, so I would think I'd be much more inclined to go for the city play, for the Industrial Center for a teleport here. Great Aquifer, taking the titanium in the cards. Well, you hate to see that. Oh, man. And he plays ASA as Phobolog and finds IO mining and Comet. Like, dude, that's just a free IO mining. That's so annoying. uh, well, it is a good handicap. He is playing one of the worst corps in the game against one of the best corps in the game, but IO mining and Comet are two really good finds. Pets, NRB, Strip Mine, Special Design out of the deck, so nothing too impactful. Yeah, Experimental Forest on the Titanium. Alright. A lot got discarded looking for plant tags. So we lost ICS, Probe, Lava Tube, Mine, Corporate, Stronghold, Immigration Shuttles, Dev Center, AOS, that's a bit of a whiff. Aquifer Pump and Cloud Seeding, whatever. Building Industries, kind of whatever. Herbies, that's a bad one to lose. Nuke Power, Mining Expedition, Quantum, Solar, Fuel Factory, and Plantation. Alright, we whiffed a bit on the ASA. That's unfortunate. Not ASA, Experimental Forest. And yeah, he predictably just plays IO Mining and the Comet. Screw your plants. That's unfortunate. I guess we're going to play AAA. Yeah. Oh, man. You find the Arctic algae, and 3 oceans are already down, and you have to give Mr. Phobolog satellites, which I get the feeling he's going to probably have some more insane space cards to play with it, but Arctic algae's too good. I think you still have to take it here. Open City's too far away, or Processor isn't what we want to be doing, and it doesn't look like he's positioned well to do it either. I would take Geothermal Power, have power on hand. Lake Marineris is just too good of a card to skip, I would say, since we don't have much to do in our hand. I really like Lake with AAA early on in the game, like Gen 2, because it's hedging your bets. What you want to do is you want to play Arctic Algae and you want to have the oceans come down early. However, if for whatever reason that doesn't happen and oceans are lagging, at least you get the payoff of Lake Marineris being 4 points for 21 plus whatever ocean rebates you get. That's pretty good. So I would take Lake. If I keep these 3, that brings us to 20. That means Arctic Algae and Convoy is not possible. However, if we would only have to take Arctic Algae, 26. Now, we still couldn't do that even with Arctic Algae by itself. Because what I'd like to do is I'd like to Convoy for the conversion here. But it's just not possible, so I would just buy 3. You could argue you could skip Lake Marineris because 3 oceans already down, 1 in hand, 1 at free means that 5 oceans are accounted for, meaning how likely is it that there's going to be just 4 oceans remaining. So I could see skipping Lake and just taking Geothermal and Algae here, but my heart says I like hedging with Lake. I feel good no matter what the outcome is if I take Lake here. Yeah, he does as well. I guess he just dropped the Arctic Algae and passed. There's really nothing else to do. Oh, okay, that's true. You could play Geothermal and just say I'm going to let the energy roll over to heat. That's reasonable as well. Sure. Oh, opponent just passes. Whoa, NRA! Right off the top. That's beautiful. A little sad giving him Space Elevator as Phobolog, but I mean, gotta take the NRA. We even have the Arctic Algae to make it playable. That's sick. Okay. Ooh. You don't like I would want to play Black Polar Dust, or at least consider it, but NRA is in our hand. That's our priority, which means we need 34 plus 12, so 46 cash to commit to these two. So playing Black Polar Dust is going to probably delay another gen of NRA and Arctic Algae, so I think you have to skip the Black Polar Dust here. I would just do Large Convoy and not give Phobolog a Titanium sink. Yeah. Take the Peroxide Power, don't give him power. Alright, here's where it gets a little tricky. I don't think we're interested in Large Convoy. It's a nice card, don't get me wrong, but NRA is kind of our game plan here, and we already have Lake Marineris and Convoy. I think Large Convoy's a distraction. Immigrant City is not something we have to play right away. It is decent, but if you are going to play it, the question is does it delay anything meaningful if we take Immigrant City? I think it's okay to play later on and just keep it for now. I don't think if we buy 2 here, it takes us to 28. Play the Arctic Algae, we're at 16, 20, 30, 41. That means we can buy 3 cards and still play NRA. I'm convinced. I would take NRA and Immigrant City here. Peroxide Power is a little interesting, but I think with 2 power, we're already okay on what we're needing power for. Yeah. Oh. Okay, Earth Catapult from our opponent. That's unfortunate. And Business Contacts draws 4 cards. Hopefully they're like my Business Contacts and they're all really bad, but we'll see. Yeah, Arctic Algae into a conversion. I love it. So here he's working his way towards the oceans. He wants to get good conversions like that. NRA is the priority for now, but Convoy from Europa into a conversion is really nice. Yes, there's a possibility opponent could have knocked the city, and that's unfortunate, but the Titanium was worth it for the AAA to start with, and our goal is to just continue getting rebates. Yeah, it's a space elevator. Oh, okay. I like the space elevator. I'm not so keen on the Callisto Penal Mine. Not to say it's like bad per se, but it's not a great card unless you have multiple Jove Molts. He has 1 so far, so if this was like an 800 level player like Thoth, I would say, okay, well, this is guaranteeing he has like 2 or 3 Jove Molts. Here, I'm not so certain, and moreover, he paid all with like money basically. I would want to wait until next gen and use the Titanium to pay for Callisto Penal Mines. But I guess we know we gave him Satellites. He's probably gonna play Satellites and with some of that Titanium, so he figures might as well get the production now. That's reasonable-ish. It depends on his hand. If he's got Titanium targets for days, sure, maybe that's alright. If you don't, wait and spend your Titanium on that instead of your precious cash. So anyway, I think we're just passing. Yeah, NRA is too important. Deimos down. My gosh, ridiculous. Research coordination would have been nice. I think you still take the research coordination just because the satellites value and all that, but it is a serious question to ask. Do you cut the Martian survey against the guy with EarthCat? I don't know. NRA is like the big reason to take research coordination. Science payoffs is the other reason, but are there any science payoffs? He doesn't look like he's pursuing any right now. For Joves, I suppose, like TG might be a reason to take it. I think I'd still do Wild Tag. Yeah. I'm a little surprised he took the grass. I guess he figures we want grass, so he cuts it. I think fish was a better card for him. I'm cutting the fish for sure. Always cut the 1-point animal if it's a mediocre card on the other side. I'm not sure fish is good for us. We do have the Eos. You could take it, but I kind of feel like we just want to play the NRA and then work towards the Convoy from Europa. If we have to keep Deimos, so we're at 39. There's no way we can do Convoy, Convert, and play NRA. So yeah, I think keeping fish makes sense since we can't fit it all in. Raising Heat, and then NRA. Beautiful. 7 plant prod, Gen 4. Looking strong. And the opponent just passes. Alright, see, if you're going to do that, I really think you should have waited on the Callisto. And moreover, where's your satellites? Did you not keep that satellites? That seemed pretty good to me. Oh, whew. Okay, that's something that I'm glad is in our hands and not our opponents. So definitely do not give a guy with discounts, since he has Earth Catapult, AI Central. Sad to lose GHG Factories. Maybe he takes acquired company, we get it back. I wouldn't be too sad about that. Commercial District. Land Claim. Actually, no. Land Claim is more annoying than Commercial District. Because you could just slap that down right there, and suddenly it's real annoying to get good rebates along the oceans here. Commercial District, he has no steel. He has no power. I would do Land Claim 100% here. Yeah. Acquired company, yeah, he doesn't give us the heat. Sad. I'd take acquired, just cut it. So here's the age-old question: Is it bait or is it good for AI Central? Here we do not have any science tags in hand. We have plant solved, we have ocean solved. He is mostly solved. So I'm gonna call it bait. I don't think I would take it. Let's see if Thoth agrees. Yeah, he agrees. It's bait. Opponent kept all 4. Wow, I guess he's saying he wants Planner. That's crazy. Buying 4 of those cards for Planner here. Olympus into Martian. Drawing the card. Yeah, that's Planner, but sheesh. That's expensive. Power supply into... Yeah. So we don't care about power supply, but we did this to get a nice conversion. And then another ocean, let's get another conversion, but we want to be careful we don't lose Lake Marineris value. Space hotels. Okay, so he was waiting on the satellites maybe for Planner and for the space hotels value? Sure. Alright, so another age-old question here. Do you Deimos when you do not have... your opponent doesn't have plants? In this case, I think I would. We don't have the cash, so we can't do it now. But I think this is a situation where I would just go ahead and Deimos my opponent here. They could make a push for Builder or something, but I don't think it seems likely. You can just claim Gardener if you want. I think Thoth might consider just funding Landlord, floating the milestones for a while and saying, I'll get to them when I get to them. Opponent's not even close on any of them. Just take a cheap award fund, play the Deimos soon to push the temperature track, and then prepare to claim the milestones, SP asteroids, and get out of the game unscathed. That's what I'm imagining. Yeah, and he funds Landlord. I like it. We think the same way. Okay, mining rights does make Landlord a little bit annoying, but it's not going to be any real thing. And unfortunately now has steel prod, so that space elevator is getting a lot better. Yeah, I got the spare money. Why not just go ahead and claim Gardener? Sure. He is kind of making a play towards Builder now with the SF Memorial and the Colonizer, so it makes sense to go ahead and claim a milestone. Ooh, power plant too. Yeah, he's making a big push for it. So how many of those 12... Hold on, did he still not play Satellites? He really didn't keep Satellites? Did I misremember and he didn't keep Satellites? That's crazy. I feel like Satellites definitely should have been kept for him. It's like 6 prod. Man. That toll station actually looking pretty good for us. That's 5 prod for us here. But I mean, a slightly better acquired company, not really that exciting here at Gen 6. It's always nice to sabotage the Phobolog's Titanium. It is a pretty big cash swing here. So I think I'd take Sabotage. I'd expect him to take Predators. And I would actually cut the security fleet because with the titanium, I'm not really wanting to give him a point avenue scoring. Toll Station's not bad, mind you. I just don't think it's impactful enough compared to the rest of these cards. I think I would opening take Sabotage here. Yeah. Trees is quite good. Standard Tech is better, though, for pushing the game out. I am inclined to go with Standard Tech here. Trees, we can kind of, control a little bit about when that's played. We can wait till most of the oxygen's gone, and trees is not that impactful. So Standard Tech. Yeah. Okay. He didn't keep the Preds. See, this is tough. Large convoy's gone, so it's only God, how am I forgetting the name of nitrogen? Imported nitrogen. My gosh, need to play this game a little bit more if I'm going to be reviewing it. Predators gets benefit from imported nitrogen, local heat trapping, though he's lacking the heat to make that usable, viral enhancers, ecozone, etc. Security fleet gets no benefit whatsoever, but he's got a ton of titanium, but it's photolog titanium, so he's paying 15 plus 4 for the point. That's not great, but it's still some scoring. I'm not sure we're even playing this fish, so I'm not sure Predators is even good for him. Obviously, if there's Ecozone, we're very sad about it. I expected him to take the Predators. Him taking the toll station is messing with my math a little bit here on how I thought this would go. I would probably take Predators because I think it is the scariest thing, but I think Security Fleet is a little spooky to pass here. Yeah, I take 1 and 2. Part of the calculus there is I just took Sabotage, so I can just hit his titanium, and it's harder to use Security Fleet well. But not like completely impossible. So yeah, he's converting, getting the conversions where he can, convert. And then we can open with Deimos into claim milestone, except I think we're just slightly short on the cash here. Maybe keeping Sabotage was a mistake from that perspective. Because he's 2 away from Builder. If he plays 2 building tags here, we don't have a way of taking Terraforming here. I didn't think that closely about it. There's microbes. That's a little spooky. Standard technology asteroid. I don't I don't know about that play, man. That's a little aggressive for me. I liked going for the milestone to shut him out on the milestone, but I get that maybe we can't have afforded it. Yeah, the more I'm thinking about it, I'd have to go back and really check. If we skip the Sabotage, that's plus 2 cash, right? So 20, 17, 19, 19, 38. Yeah, I think we were short no matter what. We'd have to skip Standard Tech as well, and that feels not right to me. But maybe we could have sabotaged him here, because he's playing this commercial district. Maybe if it's his building tag, maybe if we sabotaged him, the money would be tighter. But I don't think it matters. He has enough money to just claim now. That sucks. Getting shut out when we're so close to Terraformer is not great. But we do sabotage his titanium. I like that. Miranda Resort, so he is still going to Jove's. Again, he's playing that, but not Satellites. Does he have Satellites still in his hand? Okay, there's the Satellites. Alright, I think that's waiting a little too long to get the value from Satellites. I think he should have played it maybe 2 gens ago, but man, it's a great Satellites. That's a lot of production. 23 to 4. Sheesh. But we're up 9 TR, so really more like, not quite as bad. It's really more like 13 to 23. I guess he just pass. Do we fear the hackers here? I think I would cut the tundra farming or artificial. I don't respect tundra farming. I'd cut artificial, I guess. Not that I respect artificial that much here at Gen 7. Uh, CEOs, okay. Well, we're glad that we're not giving them CEOs in physics complex. I'd cut the physics complex. Release isn't that good. I think I'd cut the tundra farming. I don't really care if he plays the hackers with his 1 power on us. I'd skip those too, unfortunately. Yeah, and he plays it. I think that's a little bit of an aggressive hackers play. Interesting. So I think converting makes enough sense, but standard greenery for the conversion, I'm not really convinced on that one. I think if anything, I would have just not converted my greenery here. I'd have just waited. I'm not convinced our opponent is going to be SPing greeneries himself. I don't really want to spend 20 mega credits on pushing the O2 track with our 7 plant prod. We already have that, pretty well contained, especially with, Lake Marineris and Arctic algae giving us plants as well. I think I'd have just raised heat with the standard projects or just played the Deimos, which I think is the better play. And we would get around to doing the standard greenery at the end of the game when we need to close it out. I would just wait till next gen and do 2 conversions to get the heat. Yeah, banker fund, not surprising there. Okay, we are doing the SP asteroid now, makes sense. Okay, there's that security fleet. So that's 1 point. Another one, yeah. Okay, well, I don't love giving them media group, but I really don't like giving them research outpost. Research outpost is okay for us. It's not great, honestly. We're not going to be playing that many more cards. We're mostly standarding with standard projects here. So this isn't really going to pay itself off. We already have Immigrant City, meaning, this is 21 versus 13, so it's 8 mega credits more. So 8 mega credits more. I'm not convinced we're playing 8 cards, but we're also taking -1 for it. I don't know. I would probably still cut the research outpost, but this media group sucks to pass. I don't want to get biomassed. I would cut the biomass. Banker shenanigans? Nah, it's cut molehole area. Okay. He does want to do some banker shenanigans, I guess, or he just thinks insulation has more upside than molehole area. I'm just thinking about landlord more than anything. Not that I think he's beating us on landlord. I would skip all again, unfortunately. I don't think Research Outpost is meaningfully better than Immigrant City. You could take them both, which might be right because we're only up by 1 point and our opponent has a Jove threat. It's not clear we can just push the end of the game into a win. It might be we have to take Research Outpost and Immigrant City and surround them both in order to get enough points to win here. Yeah, it looks like what he's doing. Okay, 2 points on the security fleet. He did want the power, and he's played a space station as well. Permafrost is nice. That is another conversion. Okay, he's getting some science and some power. It's not for the physics complex, so not quite sure what the purpose of this is. Bushes is nice. Okay, minor, yeah. I mean, none of these were really fundable at all for us, so makes enough sense. He's arguing the research outpost makes the plantation playable. Yeah, that's alright. So I think you gotta take the birds. Imported nitrogen's pretty good here, but we've seen almost all the animals. Only livestock is left, so I would take the birds, I think. Protected habs I don't think matters enough. I would take the shuttle since it's a point. Yeah. Regular theaters, science tag, just in case. Do I bother with imported nitrogen here? Uh, maybe with the fish. It's not great, especially since we don't have a microbe target, but I'm not convinced we're winning enough here. I think we're going to have to maybe take this slow and take some good point scoring cards. Shuttles you could take. I think that's probably a little much. That's 12 for a point. You could say it's 8 for a point with Deimos and imported nitrogen. And you get some MC prod, so 6 or 4. Uh, it comes down to can we end and win here. If we play Deimos, 1, 2, 3, then raise heat, ocean, Lake Marineris, more oceans. So we can do like Deimos and Lake, no problem here. But then we're still looking at going at least Gen 10, maybe Gen 11. And if we go Gen 11, I think you need to take the shuttles, the imported nitrogen to get some point scoring. I'd take both of them. Yeah, I really would want to end, but with him taking 2 of the milestones and the Jove threat at 4 Joves, I'm not convinced we have enough gas to push out into a quick win. I think we might have to go a more grindy route, which is really not what you want to do, because by grinding it out, it gives him more drafts in order to find the Joves. Luckily, he doesn't have much card draw except for Olympus Conference, but still, I think I'd take these 2. Okay, he skips them. I understand wanting to skip them. I'm just not convinced we can quite afford it. Media into Invention. He does find some form of card draw. We hope he doesn't find a Jove Molt. Raise Heat into Deimos. Yeah. Ocean. Yeah. Makes sense. Restricted area. Oh, that's so annoying. That was our Lake Marineris spot, you jerk. Whatever. Think you still do Lake here. Just get the rebates and convert down there. Yeah. Steelworks. He played GSM for Steelworks to take 1 oxygen from us? I don't know about that. It wasn't like he even paid that in titanium. He just paid for that in cash. Yeah, I don't know about that one. So here I would convert probably for. I'd read the oceans here. I'd probably convert right here for 2 cash, 1 plant. And I'd also probably play the Immigrant City down here. Just reserve the real estate, get a card. I suppose I could play the Immigrant City first and then play the Greenery to draw a card. That probably makes more sense. Yeah, I don't know about the 3-point cities we're setting up everywhere. It's probably okay, but might be that we're going to be making use of that with standard tech. But I don't know. We're up 88 to 61. But that's mainly just because minor is flipped. So it's really 88 to 71 is the better way to think about it. 3 points on the security fleet. So I mean the Predators would also have been some points with the imported nitrogen as well. But yeah, unfortunate. Yeah, alright, so we're just taking the 3-point city for ourselves. I kind of like going for the card, but it's fine. Decomposers is pretty good. SP Ocean. Is that to get the conversion here? Yeah, okay. That makes enough sense. I'd like to have found like ice cap melting and whatnot, obviously, but making sure we get the last oxygen TR and our opponent can't standard for it. I think that's a good move. That's good heads up play. Yeah, because he does so anyway, because he wants to play Eco Zone after his decomposers. So listen to the opponent. If you are going to be wanting to play a card like Eco Zone, do it before the oxygen maxes because you just lost the point for that delay basically. There was no reason to have to play the decomposers there. You could have just done SP Greenery, taken the point, and then later on played the deco into the eco. Taking 4 cash from us again. These guys are learning to take the rebates, which is good play, but it's annoying. Yeah. Did we not take the birds? Did we take another card? I really felt we should have cut the birds there. Um, that's really unfortunate. I guess I just missed that he did that. Yeah, that sucks. I hate losing the Plant Prod, and I hate that he's getting another point each gen. Because I keep feeling like we're going to have to maybe grind this one out. I don't think you can give him a Jove Molt. However, that local heat trapping is really good for him next gen if we can't end it this gen. We can certainly end it this gen, but can we win if we end it this gen? I think you take the AMC regardless. Okay, I don't think he's ever playing anti-grav, but at the same time, do you ever risk it? I would just cut the med lab and say I don't think he can play anti-grav because he didn't first pick it. Okay, taking it, fine. Cut the GHG? I mean, I don't think either matters much. Deep Well is just worse than SP Asteroid, so I wouldn't keep that. I guess this is another buy zero. Really unfortunate hands for the second half of this game where Thoth has just not found anything worth buying and playing, though. I lean towards the shuttles pick there. I think that was still maybe a point that needed to be get grabbed. But at the same time, if you're not playing imported nitrogen, we're going to just be maybe SPing some cities, then maybe that's just better point scoring. So here our goal is to try and stall out as long as we can. We don't want to end into a loss, depending on what his Joves are. But we also don't have any real way to stall. That is the main unfortunate part here. We can play fish and stall a little bit. Okay, we're standarding out. This is a little dangerous because Joves can certainly swing this, and then we're in some trouble. Alright, Thoth is saying, I think my best chance to win is now, because you have card draw, give you less chances to find Joves. So we're just going for it. Fair enough. SP City, I think either location is fine. Probably right here, because that gives us the ability to play a little safe if another animal, like small animals, hits us, and then like Eos can be another conversion if we need it to be. Though we'd like to play fish. Okay, so 14. We're short. If we did it on an ocean, I don't think that changes anything. I think we're still short on being able to play fish and Ecozone. I mean, Eos. Okay, well there's the Ganymede colony. That's the second Jove Molt. There's the water import. There's the third Jove Molt. Okay, that's not where we want to be. Playing Eos, that is the best play for us. Security fleet getting them another point, so I mean, it's a 4-point security fleet. It ain't that bad. I do think Predators maybe could have been, bad as well. It'd been another point on Eco Zone. But I mean, that's just 1 point. He spent 15 plus 16, 31 for 4 points. Like, a point for 8, that's not great. So I think it was still not enough efficiency to be uh, something that we're super worried about denying. But it's an interesting question about which one is better, Preds or Security Fleet. So we're done. Oh, of course he has the TG. Uh, Fortunately, we're still getting 4 points, so we're 3 points ahead still. Doesn't look like any milestones are swung, so he needs to find 3 points with 14 cash. I mean, advanced ecosystem does that, and that'd be bad if he has it. Investment loan, okay, 26 cash. So you can do a standard city. That's 103. So that ties the game. Magnetic field generators. Okay, that's 3 points. And Phobos Space Haven. That is another 3 points. So right now we're tied on the award, so it makes it look like, we've got the win, but it's gonna flip here. And then convert and convert. Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. The unfortunate reality is just sometimes they find all 4 Jove molts and they just get you there. And that's why I would like to have stalled it out, but I also understand the point of you can't stall it out, right? The opponent can outstall us, so it's a question of, do you just force the end there and say I don't think he has it, or do you try and grind it out more with some SP cities and just say I'm going to go the long game, and I don't think that you're outscoring me in the long game. I think we had to go Gen 11. I understand Thoth's perspective here of how likely is it that he has all 4 Jove molts, but I think when it's that uncertain, I would lean towards the SP City line because he doesn't have too much, right? If we didn't give him that birds, I think the birds was a big miss over the imported nitrogen there. Because, yeah, imported nitrogen is, well, let's think about it this way. The birds is plus 2 points for him, so it's 104 to 103. Imported nitrogen was maybe 1 point for him. Oh, no, it'd have been 1, 2, 3, 4. Imported nitrogen was 4 points for him. So I think imported nitrogen was the better card for him over birds. But the birds hitting us is just a continual drain that is going to make it harder to go in the long game. I think I would just not SP the asteroids. I would SP the cities. I'd have cut the birds so he doesn't have a 1 point gain each gen, and just tried to grind it out with cities and greeneries here and hope that Gen 11's enough. Regardless, tough game. It's always unfortunate when your opponent doesn't have much card draw, right? Just one restricted area and yet finds all 4 Jove molts and finds the IO off the acquired space agency and just manages to pull off the win. But congrats for the massive upset. It's 540 elo upset there for Zhang Q. So well played to him on that. And luckily for Thoth, this was not an arena game, so he still maintained number 1 on the arena standings. From my understanding, he is taking a break from arena till others start getting closer, and then he will decide if he wants to keep playing. But I understand that King of the Hill mentality. No need to push forward when you're already ahead. But yeah, I don't think there were too many misplays. I think you could argue the security fleet was maybe something, right? Security fleet was 4 points, but I think you can also argue that the money he spent on that, he could have just done an SP City instead. So it's a 1 point difference. So I don't think that's really an argument either. I think it's just he was able to make some use out of it. But thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you guys next time. If you have any other games you'd like to send me that are cool or crazy, I'm happy to look over them when I'm not addicted to playing the other games I'm playing right now. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.